'Tis the season for giving, and the In at 500's holiday gift package is the perfect present. For only $299, you'll give or receive a cozy night in a deluxe king room to enjoy in 2025, valet parking, $100 for on-site dining, and you can make it even merrier and upgrade to a suite for only $100 more. This deal is only available until December 24th, so call 208-227-0500 or visit inat500.com/holiday gift package. Give joy, give luxury, give the In at 500. Practice self-care this season with a winter wellness getaway to Salishan Coastal Lodge by SCP Hotels. With a commitment to wellness and sustainable hospitality, Salishan is the perfect place to recharge this holiday season. As a CityCast Boise listener, treat yourself to 20% savings on your stay with code CityCast. Salishan Coastal Lodge offers endless ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Plan your restorative stay at Salishan Coastal Lodge. Book now at salishan.com using code CityCast for 20% savings and start your journey to feeling refreshed and renewed. Today on CityCast Boise, cold weather calls for warm, hearty meals, and the bench is delivering. From flaky empanadas to rich German flavors and spicy Cuban favorites, we're digging into the coziest spots and most comforting dishes with a couple who has the inside scoop. It's Wednesday, December 11th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Rachel Spacek and Ryan Suppe, you both live on the Boise bench and are here to give us the lowdown on the food scene on the bench. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
There are so many restaurants and types of food on the bench that it's really tricky to know where to begin. And I thought since we're recording this during lunchtime, it just seemed fitting to start with maybe the best bench lunch spots. So where would you go to for lunch on the bench?
So I am a big fan of two places. Both are kind of Middle Eastern, have a lot of hummus, falafel, and I'm mostly vegan, sometimes vegetarian, but mostly vegan. And those are always the places I go to. Goodness Land, which is on Overland Road. I think kind of near the intersection of Overland and Curtis, but further down toward the interstate. I always get the falafel plate, and it comes with hummus, a bunch of falafel, pita, and French fries. So it's like a really big meal, and it's really good. And you can get their sides. I really like the dolmas. And then also, in addition to that place, there's Foodland Market, which is kind of the Middle Eastern market, but then they also have a place where you can order food, and they have a really good falafel like wrap. And Ryan eats meat, so maybe he can add to like the meat eaters' perspective to those places. But we go there a lot, actually.
Another couple good lunch spots. Alpenhaus is my go-to. That's over on Vista. All the German essentials. They got a little market in there where you can buy groceries. Occasionally you'll go in there and the regulars will be watching a German soccer game, which is pretty cool.
What's your go-to order there, Ryan?
Schnitzel for sure. Schnitzel and palms, I think is the German word for fries. They come with mayo, which I do not partake in, but the fries are solid. They also have these big giant pretzels that come, they have to like hang them up on this hook, about as half of my torso size pretzel.
That sounds amazing.
I've gone there with him, and since I am a vegetarian vegan, he obviously gets all the meat stuff and I get the pretzel. And they also have a really good beet salad. So I don't know if anyone else besides me loves beet salad, but last time I went there, I got a pretzel and a beet salad, and it was like perfect.
I don't know that I would have thought to order that, but it sounds interesting.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means. It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop last-minute deals now.
Okay, so maybe we'll start with you, Ryan. What is the best place on the bench for a date night or maybe a dinner option?
Well, the thing about the bench is the restaurant options are pretty much across the board unpretentious, which is a compliment. But I think on a date night, you sometimes want to go to a little snobbier place. But if not, I think our new favorite place is Casablanca. It's a Cuban restaurant on Overland. Just like you drive by and you might miss it. It's a teeny little building. Rachel, what was the appetizer we had there?
I forget what it was called, but it was like really thinly sliced plantains, and they were so good. And they came with like this little dipping sauce that just seemed like it was olive oil and like garlic, like chopped garlic, and it was so delicious. Yeah, and it's really cute in there. Everyone's like, all of the wait staff, speaking Spanish, and it's just like it just is really reminds you of like how cute and diverse the culture on the bench is. Like you go to these Middle Eastern restaurants and you don't really know what you're ordering and you just go by the picture, and then you go to this Cuban restaurant and, you take someone like Ryan's dad who says gracias and you just really embrace the culture. And it was really good.
Yeah. We had a nice pitcher of sangria, which was delicious.
Okay, Ryan and Rachel, what are maybe some of the most underrated food options that people really need to check out, or maybe secret spots on the bench that people don't really know about?
Well, I will say that we pretty recently, after moving to the bench, discovered, I think it's our favorite Thai place. It's just called Thai Cuisine, and it's on Overland, and they have a lot of options. And also my good friend pointed out that they have a full vegan menu. So they have vegan options on their regular menu, but then they also have another menu to make sure like you don't get fish sauce or any egg in your dish. So that was a really big discovery for us. And we've gotten it to go and also eaten in there. So I really like that place, and it's just kind of somewhere that you might just pass on a busy street, but it's so good.
And never busy. Every time we've gone, got a table immediately. When we get the takeout, it's ready in 15 minutes. A word of warning, though, we've always found that the spice levels in Idaho are, relative to other places, a little bit weak. Mm-hmm. Not the case at Thai Cuisine. I got bold and got the 5 out of 5 one day, and it hurt. So if you're used to places having stuff that's not spicy enough around here, Thai Cuisine is not one of those.
Okay, so they're not using the Boise spice scale. They're using
Correct.
like an actual spice scale.
Yeah.
That's good to keep in mind. Staying on the topic of maybe underrated places, I do think the bench is pretty underrated overall in Boise's food scene. Everyone, including our own podcast, mostly talks about downtown restaurants. Why do you think that is?
I guess for me, like when I'm thinking of going out on a date night, my first thought is to go downtown. I'm not thinking about the places that I pass by every day.
Yeah, I think that is a good point. And if you do want to do like dinner and drink, sometimes it feels more convenient to go downtown because you could stop off at a bar before you go to your restaurant. Also, I do think, to Ryan's point earlier in the podcast, saying that the places on the bench are really unpretentious, like you're not really going to find, I mean, you are, but if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can find good places on the bench for a date night. But, maybe you don't always think about going to get like a big bowl of pad thai for your date night. I do, but maybe not everyone wants that. So I think they think of downtown, but I would really encourage people to check out the bench because we have a lot of our refugee and immigrant communities here on the bench, and they've really like brought their food culture to Boise, which I think is really needed in our food scene.
I absolutely agree, Rachel. There are a lot of different options on the bench that aren't really available in other parts of Boise. So what is it about the bench that makes it possible to have such a diverse range of food options, from different ethnicities to even vibes, style of cooking? What about the bench, really helps those kind of restaurants flourish?
I think I obviously have not looked at or don't really study like cost of rent for places. But I do think downtown is obviously a lot more expensive. So they do have to have those higher price points that, maybe the bench doesn't have to have because we are just like a more affordable neighborhood. And so I think our rents are more affordable. I think there are, like we were talking about, a large range of different cultures, cuisines here. So I think, maybe different cultures feel more comfortable when you are in an area that has another Middle Eastern place or has like another Thai place or another market. So I think that this is where their families live who run those restaurants, and they can't afford to live in the North End, East End, downtown. So I think that's my speculation to why we have those food options on the bench.
Yeah. And I think if you're looking for a night out, there's something to be said about downtown where everything's concentrated. You can get a drink one place and maybe even in the same building go to a restaurant. But I think throughout my life, all of my favorite restaurants have been in like nondescript shopping malls that you didn't even know it was there until someone told you about it. So, and I think that's a lot of the good bench restaurants are like that.
Yeah, the hidden gems off the beaten trail.
Yeah, and another one we noted for underrated is the proliferation of Mexican food trucks on the bench. I don't know the names of any of them. I just kind of know where they are, and I know when I go there, I'm going to get something delicious.
Okay, so maybe you don't know what it's called. Where is maybe the best one or a really solid option?
My favorite one is on Orchard. Just if you're hungry and driving on Overland, Orchard, Curtis, look in parking lots. You might find a Mexican food truck and you won't regret it.
There's one actually that we haven't checked out that is like 2 blocks from our house in that giant Curtis and Overland parking lot. I think it's just like a tiny little white truck, and I haven't seen like a huge amount of people going there, but I kind of want to check it out because it just looks like, they have like a handwritten menu outside and one single person is cooking the meals. But that's really how we like, there's a Mexican food truck on kind of by Boise State, and I wanted it the other day, and I just told Ryan, like, that place we used to go to near BSU, because we don't really know their names, but they're just so good.
What, in your opinion, is maybe missing in the food scene on the bench?
For me, pizza by the slice. Something like Guido's New York style pizza, where you can go for lunch or even for dinner. There are pizza options on the bench, but I love a good, New York style slice that you can get in 90 seconds. They throw it in the oven and it's ready to go. If there is one of those and I'm not aware of it, I hope somebody will say so in your comments and I will be looking. Otherwise, I haven't found it yet.
For me, I really like pho and like ramen and just big warm bowls of like Asian soup. And I also haven't found one of those places on the bench. And And again, like maybe I'm wrong, but to get pho, I usually go to the places downtown, which again feels like a far place to drive from the bench when there's so much good food here. So I think we need a pho place on the bench.
Okay, so we need some pho and some pizza by the slice. Any entrepreneurs out there who are looking for what the bench needs? Well, Rachel and Ryan, thank you so much for your insight into what we need to be eating on the bench and all the spots we need to be looking out for. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting us talk about food.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend about us so they know where to find the best bench food too? We'll be back tomorrow morning with tips on finding a therapist in the Treasure Valley. Catch you then.